Welcome back to the Gathering Hour. I am Josh. This is Ash.
Hello.
And this week we're going to be discussing some more of the in and outs of gameplay. Ash is also going to start off with a half-baked brew.
I do enjoy those.
And I'm going to be covering later on in this segment something we've come to call Kitchen Table Junior Edition.
You mean in a later segment?
What did I say?
You said later on in this segment.
Later on in this segment. Whatever.
This is the intro.
Whatever. So, first of all, Ash, you're going to be covering what we've come to call our half-baked brew. So, first of all, what is a half-baked brew?
So, a half-baked brew is something I do much too frequently, where I will start brewing a deck, tell myself I'm going to get it ready for next week's event, and then not do that in the slightest. Sometimes I'll get a full list of 100 cards. They're just completely untested. Most of the time, though, it's like 30 cards, and I'm like, I should go get a waffle or something, just not finish it.
Okay. So this is just basically a giant collection of cards that it's hopefuls or maybes, runner-ups, shall we say.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, very untested. Some of them are just actual good cards. Heaven knows if they go in the deck.
I gotcha. Okay, so what do you have for us this week?
Today, I have a Canadian Highlander deck, which, if anyone doesn't know, we'll be talking about Highlander later on in this episode and talking about it quite a bit on this podcast. It's pretty great. But today I have a not only a 3-color deck, not only a 4-color deck, but a 4.1 color deck, we'll say.
Okay, and we'll probably have to explain that because it sounds already half-baked to me.
The name of this deck is 4-color plus 1 prowess.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
It's great. It's
all
great.
right.
I tested it a couple times and tapped out. It was playable.
I got equal parts like goosebumps, equal parts. I think that's gas that I'm feeling. I don't know. It's a stomachache.
That's probably from the blister coil weird.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. What do we got on there?
All right, so as you may have been thinking, we already have some pretty common prowess creatures. We've got your Kiln Fiends, your Storm Chaser Mages, your What creatures go great with having a lot of spells in the deck?
I'm thinking there's a monastery with a spear in there somewhere.
There's a monastery with a spear. There's also
the white mentor?
Monastery mentor.
That's the one. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's the 4th color.
I was gonna say because is there a purple mentor of some sort?
There is
purple monastery.
Does Adeliz the Cinderwind count?
Sure.
She's blue-red.
She's blue-red. There you go.
She prowesses all your wizards.
I'm pretty sure you add blue and red together. That's purple.
Of which you play like a couple. You play some number of wizards.
Perfect.
Snapcaster Mage is in fact a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this deck, it's base Teamer, so it's base green, red, blue. Mm-hmm. Splash for about 7 white cards and all of 2 black cards.
Okay.
It's very great. It's very cool. And you love Blood Moon.
Back up.
Yeah.
We have red, green, blue.
Yeah.
Teamer. Okay. Then we have white.
Yeah. Holy Teamer, as you can call it.
Right. Holy Teamer. With a smudge on its nose, with 2 splash, 2 black. So why isn't this a true 5-color deck?
What it really is if you took...
You got some schmutz there. No, that's splash black.
If you took a great, like a perfectly fine 3-flavor ice cream sundae. And you were like, you know what this needs? 2 chocolate chips.
So what you're saying is those 2 chocolate chips don't make your Neapolitan?
Let me tell you what I got. I got a banana split here, but not with the normal flavors, okay? There is strawberry, which is normal. That's the red.
It's red.
You got mint.
Okay.
Not mint chocolate chip, just mint.
Those are green.
That's the green.
Yeah, okay.
And then you got your
Can
blue
we go
moon.
Pistachio? I'm thinking strawberry, pistachio. And
what color is the pistachio ice cream?
That's the green.
Okay, then
Never had pistachio ice cream?
I may have.
Later on in this segment, we will be discussing the ins and outs of pistachio ice cream and why Ash needs to try it.
Okay, anyway, that can be the green. That's fine. And then Blue Moo cookie dough.
Okay, yeah. All right.
the little morsels in there are for the devoid creature you play.
Okay.
Or the devoid card you play.
The devoid card, right.
Yeah. And then the banana represents the few equipments you play. All right? And then on top you have 2 chocolate chips. And those are the black cards. Oh, I forgot the whipped cream. Whipped cream's the white cards.
Holy.
Yeah. And then
Holy
2 chocolate
Teamer
chips.
Sunday.
So you get to play
Where's
some
the
really...
prowess in this metaphor?
There's a lot. Oh, a lot of these creatures have prowess, or like Mana Gorge or Hydra that get bigger when you cast stuff. But you're also playing like Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, good old burn spells right to the dome. Mm-hmm. Also playing, bad cards. Like,
okay.
Are you familiar? Okay,
yes,
actually,
I am familiar with most of the bad cards.
You're playing Gut Shot, and that's not necessarily a bad card.
That's fair. Magic is what that's called.
It is fair speaking of fair magic, you're playing Dig Through Time.
Perfect. Yeah.
Because why not? You're already playing Thought Scour and Mental Note just to mill yourself to make your Enigma Drake bigger. So you might as well play Dig Through Time. Mm-hmm. Gotta get that Gataxian Probe. Fair balanced magic.
Magic. Yeah. Pay life to know exactly what your opponent's gonna do.
You got some. Now let me tell you one of the sickest cards in this entire deck. What is a really good 1 mana green pump spell?
Wild Growth.
That's a ramp spell.
That's not what I meant.
Giant Growth.
Yeah,
we're playing that one. So now what if Giant Growth made your creature a little smaller, but it gave it hexproof?
Then we would.
We are playing Blossoming Defense. You're right. Now what if your Giant Growth killed your creature, but made it real swole for 1 turn?
I was gonna say, hold on. Then we get to draw a bunch of cards? Because now this is sounding like an overpowered Skull Clamp.
No. This just you have to sack it in a turn. You roid it up.
Oh, so
with Berserk,
right?
And then he dies later, but it's okay because it's like real big, real fast,
right?
And so there's my half-baked list, gents and ladies and gents. You play some good card. You play Jite. That's a good card.
No, Jite is fair, balanced magic. That's
Did you know it's a 2-mana planeswalker?
I hate Jite. Can we just talk about what is that? Krark.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That is irritating me.
That's gonna date us.
That's such a bad ban. Okay, Arclight Phoenix.
Yeah.
Right.
To be fair, I'm gonna.
Okay.
Full disclosure: neither of us play Modern that much.
We really don't.
We do like to complain about it, though.
Yeah.
So that being said,
I just don't understand why they would. That's so silly.
Well,
you know why? It's because Arclight Phoenix is making them a ton of money
on Guilds of Ravnica packs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no one's buying Darksteel packs anymore.
But we digress. Anyway, so what makes this half-baked? Why isn't it finished? What do you need?
It needs better. It needs to be more consistent. The problem, it's a deck that runs into a problem commonly referred to as the wrong half of your deck problem. Kind of ramp also falls into this category. The ramp is a little more consistent. You either get these hands where it's like creatures and like a bunch of good prowess creatures and no pumps,
nothing to pump them with.
Spell, no cantrips or anything.
I gotcha.
Or you run into the problem where you just get all these spells and you can't draw into creatures.
Okay. Especially when we're talking about Canadian Highlander, which for those of you who don't know, that's a 100-card singleton. It's
like cube constructed.
Yeah, it's sometimes you just draw the cards that you don't need. You get a great grip. Your first 7 is amazing, and you say, all right, now I just have to draw one of the 30 creatures in this deck. And
when
then
you have
you
2 cantrips in hand, you think it would happen.
Right, exactly. You have a Dig Through Time, a Treasure Cruise, and a bunch of other, small little cantrips, and by turn 5, you still haven't drawn a creature.
But, it's not like that's going to happen every game.
It doesn't. It doesn't happen often, but it is a problem.
Yeah, and now I will say, another reason this is a half-baked plan is a common thing I tend to do as a brewer. Ash over here, he likes to put more colors than really belong. In every deck,
too many flavors in the ice cream.
I will say,
to return to a previously used metaphor.
Yes, I do tend to put more colors than really belong.
I cannot believe you've never had pistachio ice cream.
Look, we'll get back to that
next
later.
Time,
right?
Pistachio ice cream.
Okay, next time I will try pistachio ice cream.
Yeah, live on
live on. Okay,
yeah, live on stream next time. Ash tries
live on a pre-recorded podcast. Anyway, so yeah, I think the deck it needs to probably play a few more spells that give your creatures evasion. That's a problem I find myself running into. Like maybe it plays Slip Through Space, which is the devoid spell I was hinting at earlier.
I see.
It plays I think it plays what's that 2-mana enchantment that gives something 2/2 and flying? It's like an enchantment though. It's not
the cartouche.
No, not the
cartouche of knowledge. One of my favorite enchantment auras.
Love
that card.
Spectral Flight. Because
I
think if the enchantment gets targeted or like the creature gets targeted, you have to sack it, but it's also only 2 mana.
I see.
So it's really cool.
Cartouche of Knowledge gives it +1/+1 flying, and then you draw a card. Oh, so
the three best words in
value.
3 best words in Magic.
Right.
As most people agree.
Right.
Draw
a card.
Actually, the 3 best words are draw 2 cards.
Or I concede.
You're right.
Oh, did you say 3 words? Okay, fine. I'm going to concede.
That's 4 words. Also, it's 3 words in a contraction.
Yeah, right.
I do concede.
You win, Josh. There you go. Ha.
You win, Josh.
Got there.
Never said that.
Never said, actually.
Last time I conceded you, I just said,
all right.
GG, Josh.
No, you went, all right.
Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds more accurate.
Hey, to be fair, Temporal Mastery, copied once and rebounded once?
Okay, you rebounded it once and then you copied it.
I mean, that's just not fair.
Point is, he has a cool deck, is what we're talking about. Anyway, well, we'll talk about his deck here in a few minutes. But let's finishing thoughts on the on the Half Baked Brew. It needs to have some more spells to make it a little more consistent, and probably needs a couple more creatures that line up with the gameplay a little more. There's a couple that are like 3 mana, which is not what you're looking for.
Now, do tutors fit into this deck very well?
A few. Remember, one of those chocolate chips I was hinting at is actually Demonic Tutor.
Okay. All right. Fair, balanced
Let me
magic.
look at the. Let me pull up the list I currently have.
The reason I asked was because playing 100-card Singleton, if there's that one card that you need, this is foreshadowing.
High tide.
If there's that one card you need, you're not going to get it because you only have one card in the deck, and it might just be on the very bottom. Okay,
not to mention it's 100.
Not to mention it's 100 cards. You might not get to it anytime soon. So tutors have a real niche, a real importance in Canadian Highlander. I mean, really in any, which is why they hold their value so well.
Yeah. The 2 tutors I'm playing in this deck is Umezawa's GT. Sorry, Stoneforge Mystic, primarily to get Umezawa's GT, along with Skull Clamp.
Okay.
And Highlander is a format of fair balanced magic. And then the other tutor I'm playing is Spellseeker because it gets anything. Literally anything in the deck.
Anything other than a land.
Doesn't get Dig Through Time or Treasure Cruise, but those are honorary 1 and 2 mana spells.
Right.
So, yeah. But I mean, it can get any of your spells. It can, if you need to, it can get Demonic Tutor and grab a creature. But yeah, Spellseeker, good card, worth a point for a reason.
So glad I got one of those in Battle Bond.
Yeah,
fit right in to Murica. All right, so. Now that's done, moving on. Ash, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Now that we've kind of seen your half-baked ideas.
Singular.
Well,
okay,
there was several. So let's go into some other things. Basically, give us an intro to you. It's been a while since our original podcasts. We're kind of changing around our formatting.
Stay tuned. We may release those.
We've kind of rebranded ourselves a little bit. So why don't we go into a little bit of an introduction. Who are you in this vein? Who are you as a Magic the Gathering player?
Well, Josh, I I primarily play Canadian Highlander now that our friendly local game store finally
thank you, Scott,
finally began to host weekly Canadian Highlander events. Highly suggest giving the format a look. Like I said, we'll explain that a little more in a following episode. But yeah, I primarily play Canadian Highlander. Every now and then I'll play Modern, but based on my current weekly schedule, it doesn't work out all that well. I can typically just make it to Highlander, but I'll every now and then brew some random Modern junk. But most of the time when I'm brewing, it's either Canadian Highlander, like I said, and $25 vintage, which if you've never heard of it is vintage. Just your entire deck has to be $25 or less.
So much fun.
Sideboard included. What's that? Usually TCG mid, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Depending on what your play group or store goes with. Very, very fun format to brew random stuff in, and I'm sure some of my weekly half-baked brews will be for that format. But
there you go.
I tend to play everything except aggro, basically. I've been known to play...
Can we move back to the $25 vintage?
Please.
So could I just play like one corner of an Underground Sea?
You may have to talk to a judge about their proxy situation. But
I'm just saying.
But I mean, so let me clarify. You have the little corner of the Underground Sea.
No, it's ripped off. It's ripped off. I promise it's an Underground Sea.
What's in the rest of the sleeves? Just basic islands?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
How do you expect to win? They deck first.
Yeah, that's true.
You always mulligan to 6, so
they
deck
mulligan
first.
to 6, so they deck first. Fair, balanced magic, right? I might run a copy of Counterbalance or something. I don't know.
Not if you're playing the corner of Underground Sea or not. You got to stay under budget, good sir.
No, one corner. I'm thinking that would. I mean, it's gonna be heavily played. So you gotta give me like $20
I think most of the time people go by near mint pricing. Just to,
okay. No, see, what you should have said is, Josh, what exactly do you expect to counter with all those lands?
Ornithopters, bro. Tormod's Crypts.
Oh, right, I forgot.
Tormod's Crypts, dude. You can counter lots of things.
Fair enough.
All
okay,
right.
So.
Anyway, moving on. You will typically find me playing, if not combo or some highly synergistic deck like Aristocrats or Lands. I'll be playing very fun, interactive Control. The best way to play Magic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Don't give me that face. You're currently running a more controlling mid-range deck.
It's controlly.
It's controlling mid-range. Anyway, I like countering everything you play and then letting something resolve and then pathing it on your end step. That's the correct way to play Magic, I think. I want to kill you with an ultimating Jace Fringe Prodigy every now and then.
Right.
I actually done that once.
How many times? I don't want to hear about it. How many times have I signed your Dark Depths? It's okay.
You've only signed my Dark Depths twice.
Whatever.
And that doesn't.
That's because I've scooped before you.
You know, I should just play Dark Depths and not even Thespian State. I should just kill people with fair Dark Depths and Control.
Fair Dark Depths.
And Control. Yeah, that sounds even better than a Jace Fringe Prodigy.
Non-lethal bullets. Right.
Non-lethal bullets. What?
Isn't such a thing. Fair. Never mind.
I don't think you're doing non-lethal bullets in Jace Fringe Prodigies.
No.
I guess
I was talking about the Dark Depths, but anyway.
I guess if they gained a life, then that is technically going to put you up a combat step. Anyway, yeah, that's me. I tend to heavily enjoy countering your turn 1 play with no mana up. And then having you just be sad for the rest of the game.
Right. Richard pitch.
No, I only Richard pitch you when I have when I'm playing black.
Obviously. That's where most of the Richard pitch comes in.
Tends to be.
Yeah.
For the sake of clarification, Richard pitch is Thoughtseize, Inquisition, any turn 1 hand attack spell qualifies as a Richard pitch. Well, it doesn't have to be turn 1. Most of the time it's turn 1.
Yeah, that coins from a previous episode where I said basically he said, what is a pitch? And a pitch is where you force your opponent to discard. And then he gave examples, and I said, oh, yeah, right, you can pitch your own stuff. But I'm saying when your opponent turn 1 Inquisition, turn 1 Duress, whatever, and removes that spicy, that's the only reason I kept this hand.
Oh, my true name nemesis, you say.
Then that really is kind of a dick move or a dick pitch. So it became a Richard pitch,
For formality.
For formality,
Yep. How about you, Josh? What do you like to do in the game of Magic the Gathering that we all love so much? Gotta love them turn 1 IOKs, eh?
So, yeah, right. So I have been collecting kind of since the beginning, since about 95 or so.
When you were graduating college.
Shut up. No, actually I was like 11 or 12. I didn't realize with my alpha cards in hand that I was holding thousands and thousands of dollars when I grew up.
In all fairness, at the time, they probably weren't worth that.
They were worth nothing at all. So I really don't have too much of those left over. However, I kind of bounced in and out of Magic for several years. Once I hit puberty, I was like, what are these females? What are they like? So I dropped out for a little bit. Came back, played and collected through Visions, Weatherlight, Stronghold, Mirage,
Tempest?
A little bit of Tempest, yeah,
No forces, though.
No forces. No Lion's Eye Diamonds. I literally remember destroying on accident some cards that I just shudder to mention now.
Look, Lion's Eye Diamond probably looked bad to 11-year-old you.
It really did. Well, I was more like 14, 15 at that time. But anyway, so I came back to Magic, maybe 2014, kind of when you and the other guys were getting a little older.
I would say it was probably closer to 2016.
2016? Well, no, I came back a little bit before you all.
Okay.
I did. But then I really kind of got into the swing of things when my nephews got really into the game. I kind of pulled out my old cards, my old collections, kind of blew the dust off of it, found some really neat stuff. They got me excited. And I've been, really ramping into playing more. But in my roots, I really am a collector. I like shiny, beautiful things. I love looking at the artwork. I have a binder that is nothing but Rebecca Gay's, cards. Just all her artwork is beautiful. I love.
Still some empty slots in there.
There's still a few empty slots in there, quite a few actually, but that's okay.
We'll
it's not really high on my list of collections. That's kind of just like ooh, pretty. But for example, I really liked the Kaladesh set, so I went out.
Filigree's pretty.
Yeah, I went out and got myself every single release card. What is it, 1 through 279 or whatever it is.
Did you finish
I didn't
that?
do any. I did. I have not one single hole. I even have all the tokens, everything. Normal release of that set. Quite a few foils in there. That's the next step, is foiling it out.
But you don't have any pre-release foils, though.
I don't have any of the pre-release foils.
Be pack foils.
It has to be pack foils.
Okay.
Normal set only, and I have a few of the inventions. I'm not really trying to tackle that right now because I have children who would like to eat. I'm not trying to.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. And then, also when you have a Masterpiece Series invention Soul Ring sitting right there in front of you.
We'll talk about that.
Then some people trade it away
talk about it
for
another
$80.
Time. No,
I don't know who that would be.
We'll talk about it another time. I don't know.
I'm still mad about
I don't know
that.
what idiot would have done that kind of thing.
Still irritates me to this day.
We'll talk about it another time. All
But
right.
that's what I like to do.
But what's your favorite archetype?
My favorite archetype? Of actual card?
No, like your favorite deck archetype, like to play.
Oh, I see.
You probably have less diverse experience than I do.
I really do have kind of a less diverse experience. I for the longest time there, I wasn't much of a player. I really
just kind of came around this past year.
I really did. And honestly, that was from watching, because I like to fall asleep watching Magic games. And something that really keyed my interest was Joe Lissette, the Miracle Man. He plays a lot of vintage.
Oh, vintage.
And he played, different variations of blue, white, red miracles. And I just absolutely loved his play style. The way that he could just, it's like people were playing with their hands laid down in front of him. He would miracle and, his entreat the angels, and he'd leave, instead of casting it for 4 and winning the game next turn, he left it open because, his opponent just happened to have Spell Snare. You know what I mean? So he leaves 2 open, and there's just some amazing games. So I've really become drawn to not necessarily miracles, but kind of that blue-white control, but very interactive control, not just kind of sit back and say nope. A lot of...
Hey, I interact on board a fair amount.
I'm not saying that you do. I'm just saying we're talking about me here. That's what I like. That's what I enjoy. Have you ever cast out a Jace the Mind Sculptor?
I
know I haven't.
Feels decent.
Yeah, I'm sure
it's like nice 4-mana brainstorm and sorcery speed, bro.
Right. I'm sure it's nice, but once again, I have children and they like to eat food.
Cast out's like 25 cents.
No, I thought we were talking about Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Have you ever cast out a Jace?
Oh, I see. No, I have not.
You should play cast out.
I imagine.
You should play.
Imagine that feels pretty good.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. So the deck that we were alluding to earlier, I have made a blue, white, red, which irritates me a little bit that it's kind of common parlance to say in that order, because I prefer red, white, and blue. Miracles. I call it my Miracles.
I think the common nomenclature is Jeskai.
Well, that's fine, but I really have...
May I suggest Were.
Uh-huh.
Were.
Were miracles. No, I like miracles. And I run... Of course, this is a Canadian Highlander deck that I play, and it's a lot of fun to play. Doesn't win too often unless I'm playing Ash here in my basement. Anytime it counts for points or money, just can't seem to really pull through against those.
I'm gonna blame
especially the mirror match.
I'm gonna blame that on keeping bad hands when there's nothing on the line.
That's probably true.
Have you ever just not played a land so you could discard your life from the loam turn one? I have.
I don't want to talk about that. All right, so yeah, that's kind of me in the nutshell. If we look behind us, and I kind of wish I could show you. I really enjoy bulk boxes. That's I don't know. That's kind of my one little
vice.
Yeah, vice or a guilty pleasure, I guess you could say, is buying 8,000 cards for $20 at my local LGS
that are worth 8,000 nothings.
Yeah. Although occasionally you buy a $20 bulk box from your local game store, you will go home, you will sift through it, and actually I was sifting through it with someone else who knows literally nothing about Magic, and they said, "What are we looking for?" And I said, "I don't know, just stuff that sounds cool, or just throw it off to the side. I'm looking for specific stuff." Basically, I was just making him sort it into colors. And he said, "Where do these artifacts go?" And I said, "Just put it into a pile in front of him." And he went, "Man, I got a lot of these cards." And I said, "Yeah, you'll have a lot of duplicates. That happens in these bulk boxes." And he said, "Yeah, I think I've counted 21 expedition maps." And I said, "Yeah, that's kind of a what?" Yeah, 21 copies of expedition map in a $20 box.
What's that going for now?
Mistakes were made. At the time, they were $4.99. I think it's dropped now, maybe $3.50, something like that. $2.99, $3.50.
Let me check for the sake of the curious viewer.
So,
according to
Expedition Map, it's a land tutor.
According to CardKingdom.com,
CardKingdom.com.
Was this the Zendikar one?
It was the Zendikar edition.
$4.99 near mint.
$4.99. They did not give me $4.99 trade value, but that's okay.
Rarely will they.
I think I got I think I got $3.99, and then I kept, some to play with and some to give to my nephew who doesn't deserve it.
How am I gonna tutor up my Dark Depths if not? With
I really shouldn't have given that to
Probably
you.
with a Primeval Titan, I suppose.
Really, that works as well. So broken. So broken.
All right, so just how much do you like sifting through bulk boxes, Josh?
I mean, well, if you look behind us, what do you think that is? Like 60,000 cards, perhaps?
And then some.
Yeah, and then some, maybe more.
More.
Yeah. I enjoy it thoroughly. It's kind of like a treasure hunt. You know what I mean? You're looking.
You find a lot of those in bulk boxes, actually, don't you?
I see what you did there.
Bulk cards.
Bulk cards. Yeah. Treasure hunt.
Anyway.
So I enjoy it. It is like, every once in a while you find a diamond in the rough. Pretty sure that's not a magic card.
Diamond in the rough.
No, it's not.
I mean, if you're live from the Loaming and you mill over a Mox Diamond, does that count?
Nope. Sorry, it literally has to say diamond in the rough.
I guarantee mostly guarantee there's a card whose flavor text.
All right. No, I don't think so.
Can you search up a card by flavor text on Gather?
I don't know.
I don't know. While you're doing that, I'm gonna tell a brief story from this past week at Weekly Highlander. Less of a one-time story, more of a I can't believe this happens twice in 2 rounds story. I was playing Bant Druid Tribal, which any viewers of North 100 will be aware is bad Cradlehoof. That is Glimpse of Nature combo. It's a very Elf Ball Storm style deck. Well, anyway, I was playing against my round 1 opponent who was on, I want to say, actually I don't remember who my round 1 opponent was or what they were playing. So I guess
didn't you play Devin?
Yeah. I was playing our friend he was playing Black White Death and Taxes.
He is not our friend. He is family. He married your sister.
I was playing against my acquaintance who was playing Black White Death and Taxes. A very untested list in all fairness, very unrefined. But it was
some guy with a touch of the tar brush.
He's been frustrated with me that every time every week so far, I've played some deck that runs Primeval Titan, Dark Depths, and Thespian Stage.
So stupid.
And I keep killing him with it, and he gets very upset that out of all the cool cards I could kill him with, it's that.
Yeah.
So I just keep my hand that does not have Primeval Titan, it does not have Dark Depths, it does not have Thespian Stage, and it has no way to get any of those in play. So I play, I mulligan to 6, I keep the hand, and I scry Natural Order to the top of my deck, and I'm like, I mean, what happens, happens, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go land Dork, land Dork. I don't know, some other Dork. It's maybe a draw Dork. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, turn 3, I go Natural Order this. He's like, whatever, and I go and get Primeval Titan, Dark Depths, and he has the path. So I wish it would have been a Swords to Plowshares though. That would have been great. Like, yeah, I'll gain 20. Why not?
Yeah, right.
I'll play Commander now. But so I was like, okay, that was pretty cool. I got the unlikely turn 3 Dark Depths. So it was cool. Whatever. I don't remember. I think I ended up winning that game. But round 2 comes along. Oh no, it wasn't round 2. I think it was actually round 3. I'm against a guy playing Pod, and I think I'd say I'm gonna lose. And I go turn 1 Dork, turn 2 Dork, turn 3. I was going to play, I think, Paradoxical Outcome, just draw 3 cards or 2 cards, like play Dork and then play it to draw 3 cards, whatever.
Right.
And I just draw Natural Order. I'm like, oh, Natural Order. He's like, come on. And then I don't remember. He stopped it too. So both times I got turn 3 Merit Lage, or turn 3 potential Merit Lage, I guess. I did not end up killing him. But oh, you know what? That's not true. Because then I was gonna play Quarter Crosses and then start going off the next turn. But I just played I just played the natural and then played the Concordant Crossroads. I had enough to play Concordant Crossroads, so I got to attack Meal Titan and got Manamo and Gaia's Cradle, and then was going to be able to get a hasty Marillage next turn.
Right.
But I don't remember what he did. He did something that made me not be able to do that. I think he Caracased it or something. He did something. I don't remember what it was. But
okay.
Point is, I got double turn 3 prime times.
Right.
Which was cool.
That's always fun, drawing, where you almost live the dream. Reminds me, so I have a red-green mid-range, again, Canadian Highlander.
It's red-green ramp.
It's red-green ramp.
Middle
rampy range.
It's not like big Eldrazi ramp, but it's not like 5 mana ramp. It's like 7, 8, maybe 9 ramp.
So it works.
Sometimes.
Half the time. The other half the time you get killed with 8 cards in your hand and a really salty look on your face.
I think it just needs a good overhaul.
It really just does. It's really shiny. Has a lot of expensive cards in it.
It has like 5 foils.
What? It has more than that.
I wasn't counting the basic lands.
Oh, well, I think it has more than that. We'll go and count later. To be determined next. We don't have time for this. Get back here.
Is it right here?
Yeah, it's right there.
We're doing it
No,
now.
it's in the white box.
Well, you keep talking.
All right, I'll keep talking. So,
are we counting the City's Blessing token?
No, we don't have to count the City's Blessing token or the basic lands. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'll set the basic lands aside just for this.
No, because then you're pulling it all apart, and the next time I shuffle, I'm going to draw 6 lands and a channel, and I'm going to punch you in the face.
6 lands and a channel?
No, 6 lands and a channel is not a keepable hand. It's not, because what if you then draw
if you guys were wondering why
the rest of your ramp?
If you guys are wondering why I never have a winning record, that's why.
That's why. Because you're like, I'll probably draw into something good, and then you lose the game.
All right.
We've discussed this.
Go ahead and tell your story.
So, I was playing one of your brothers down here in my basement, just kind of like, I wish this was for some sort of something. I wish this counted. He was playing blue-white control, and I'm playing my red-green here. And I had just gotten done saying, this deck just doesn't seem to work consistently, right? But when it does work, it just really #feels good, man, right?
Feels good, man.
In my initial 7, I have 2 forests, a mountain, a Thran Dynamo, which I was like, oh yay, and as I keep looking, I see channel, and I go, okay, yeah, probably gonna keep this hand. Last card in my hand, which was kind of buried underneath, Mistcutter Hydra. And I went, yeah, I'll keep.
So how many lands did you have?
3. I had 3 lands. I had 2 forests, 1 mountain, and one of them was an Arbor Elf.
Okay, so you would have had 3 green turn 2.
Correct. 3 green turn 2.
So you could have channeled into the.
And I said, yeah, let's go. So
was this against me?
No, this was against. I think it was Tucker.
Okay.
Down here playing with me. So turn 1, Arbor Elf, right?
Forest Arbor Elf go.
Forest Arbor Elf go. Turn 2, Forest. Tap, channel, pay 10 life, float 10 colorless mana. Arbor Elf for green mana, 10 Mistcutter Hydra, and it resolves, and it has haste, and you can't counter it because you played an island. And swing for 10. Live the dream. #feels good, man. Turn 2, you have a 2-turn clock. All right, so
That's weak.
I mean, it's not weak. It's not the greatest, but it's one of those ones where you're like,
for a not combo
this deck doesn't work all the time. When it does, #feels good, man. Live the dream.
#feels good.
I mean, it felt good.
You know that one thing? I was watching my other.
And this was just a few days ago. I've been complaining about how this deck is slow to get off the ground.
I was watching my other brother play this deck. At a local tournament.
Oh, pathetic, wasn't it? Did he win a game?
He was against Dimir Control. He was against Black Blue Control. And he cast Emrakul the Promised Land, and it resolved. And the Dimir control opponent reveals his hands to reveal, I don't know, spell, land, toxic deluge. So he's just like, toxic deluge for your life total, you die.
Ouch.
I know, right?
Ouch. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
See, okay, so that's not his fault.
What?
That's not Landry's fault.
No.
Oh, you mean when he controls him on the next turn? Yeah.
So
did he ended up playing then?
Well, here's the thing. I walked by and was like, "Oh, you got him!" And I don't know if he was gonna see it without me saying that.
I see.
Luckily, this was a very casual, unsanctioned tournament. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I think he probably would have seen it. I had seen him being really good about reading the cards that he was against.
Yeah.
So, and he was very excited to cast the Emrakul and grab Nicholas's hand.
Casting Emrakul is always fun.
Yeah.
I
mean, gotta love the I was gonna say the one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater, but it's only 2 of those things. Well, 3 if you count flying.
Right.
It is a flying purple people eater.
Right.
Does she eat people? She's got to.
I mean, she's got to eat people.
She probably eats the whole world. Anyway, would you like to know how many foils there are?
I would love to know. What is the verdict?
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 foil basics. And 6 foil not basics.
I told you there wasn't 5.
Okay, would you like to know? Can you tell me what all 6
are? Thran Dynamo.
Correct.
Raging Farrakadon.
This card is busted.
That is really busted.
Yep.
Let's see. I remember there's one that I was really mad. Okay, so there's one of the Hydras, a Savage-born Hydra. Savage-born Hydra.
That might be one of the reasons this deck is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool card.
It's a great card.
It just, you have to dump a lot of mana into it before
it's actually good.
Yeah. If you could activate its bottom ability at instant speed instead of only
at sorcery speed, that would be much better.
So you'd be like, instant, I guess I'll dump 10 mana into
it.
That I
then there's an Atarka.
Which one?
World Eater? Ender?
World Render.
World Render.
Close enough.
I was close with Ender.
I'll give it to you. 2 more.
2 more. I don't remember.
Okay, there are 3 card types on these 2 cards. Between these 2 cards.
So one of them's going to be a creature. Good guess.
Yep. Is that what it is?
Is it an Omnath? Do I have a foil Omnath? No. I don't know.
It looks a little bit like Omnath, just a little bit though.
Blarby. I don't remember.
Clang.
That doesn't help.
It's Verdurous Gearhulk.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I had that.
Artifact creature.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent looking
foil.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Unless I'm
blind. No, that's foil.
Okay, and the guess last one. Not an artifact or a creature.
It's a
widely playable.
Don't give me hints because you'll throw me way off. It's one of my is it Red Sun Zenith?
It's red.
Blood Moon. No.
I feel like you would know if you had a foil Blood Moon.
I really would. What is it?
It's a braid.
Braid. I knew that.
It's a braid.
I knew that.
A braid is such
widely
a good card.
played.
It is. No, I said widely playable.
Playable.
It is. It's widely playable. It is.
Hey, look, Ash. It's a Soul Ring.
That's a Commander Soul Ring.
I know.
How about you
That's only worth $3 instead of $400.
I don't think it's worth quite that much.
I think you're wrong. Here, we're going to go.
Must we?
To the interwebs.
Do we have to?
No, we're going to. Let's see. What do we want to use? Card Kingdom? Do you think that's fair?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, so let's move on. So, as I discussed earlier, I really enjoy going through my bulk boxes. And while I'm doing so, I like to read the flavor text. I like to look at the art. I like to throw stuff aside just because, that looks cool. And you come to me and look, and you say, what's this pile of cards? And I say, it's just cool cards.
I usually say something on the lines of, what is this
this mess?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? And I say, looks cool. It looks pretty.
Then I see one card and I'm like, ooh.
And then you go through the pile of stuff that I've pulled aside and you pick 1 or 2 and you're like, actually that's Commander playable. Actually you can play this in Highlander. Blah blah blah.
I'm long past my Commander days.
And then you pick out one of the cards and I'm like, that's pretty, right? And you go, look at this. That's actually like a really bad card. And then I am crushed.
And then...
Happens often.
And then you get mad that you can't win any games of Highlander.
Don't get mad. I crushed you in the mirror match.
It wasn't
all right, fine. You're going to be like that? We're going to look up Soul Ring Masterpiece Edition.
If you're just going to top deck if you're going to top deck and treat the Angels, what am I supposed to do about that?
I didn't top deck and treat the Angels.
To be fair,
all the time.
You top deck and treat the Angels, and I just responded by casting Mystical Tutor for what did I Mystical Tutor for? Terminus.
I don't know.
Terminus. Then you died.
Oh yeah.
Well, your Angels died anyway.
My Angels died.
Okay, we don't have to look up the price of Soul Ring.
No,
now.
we're going to. You're going to be
just for the
Richard pitch. I'm going to look up Soul Ring.
Well, I'm going to give some exposition then.
That's fine.
He got me some packs of Kaladesh.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever Christmas was after Kaladesh came out. Hey, it's down in price.
It is down in price. That makes me.
I traded it for about $140 in trade value. Because I was like, oh, there's no way it's going to get more expensive than that.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept telling me, no, I shouldn't do that. And then I did. And now it's, according to Card Kingdom, $350.
This week. Next week it'll be back up to $425.
But look, here's the thing. I used that to put together my first Modern deck.
Oh,
I want to talk about it. I used that to put together my first Modern deck.
Doing good.
Took that to put together my first Modern deck. And from then I was able to actually start playing quote-unquote competitively.
Right.
Competitively at the FNM
that
level.
Minamo is gorgeous, by the way. Isn't that one of the cards you picked up? Was Minamo?
Not with that money. That was mostly getting like the land base and like paths and stuff to Esper control.
Oh, fair enough. All right, so we digress. Something that you'll notice we do
that a lot.
A lot.
That's why we allotted an hour.
That's true. Okay, so something
earlier when I said, how much do you like looking through bulk boxes, Josh?
Yeah.
That's what I was getting to here. Then I realized we changed how the segment worked, so it didn't work. I'll work on my segues, I promise.
That's fine.
Anyway.
So something that I like to do when I'm going through my bulk boxes, I do, my wife and I do foster care in-home, and something that I like to do is let the foster kids play Magic. You know, I sit down at the table, play Magic with them. I'll play with my kids on occasion when they can focus that long. And I usually do, just, home brews, kitchen table Magic. It's quite a lot of fun. But what I like to do is I like to make very, I don't know, what would you call the various ones that I have?
I would put it somewhere, but I would not put it in the beginner category because you understand the four of.
Right.
But I would also not put it in the playable category because they're not.
Because they're not. Usually, the just to put it in perspective, the total value of these decks are somewhere in the $10 to $15 range. Rarely will you see a rare in the deck.
Rarely will you see any of them in sleeves that are worth putting on cards.
I do put them in sleeves. But okay, so we're talking about...
You put them in crappy sleeves.
I do put them in crappy sleeves,
which you
right?
should.
Which I should. I mean, it makes them shuffleable.
Exactly.
Plus, every once in a while, like a Curious Obsession, for example, right? I was going through... Right. Amazing card. When it first came out, it was, 25-cent uncommon, right? Now it's worth $3. Okay, glad I put it in sleeves.
Side note,
Curious
Obsession. You play that in 4-color +1 prowess because it's amazing.
It's incredible. So anyway,
you can also play it in Bant Flyers.
You can play it in a lot of things.
Which reminds me, I need to finish my list of Bant Flyers.
You can also play it in Skyrits, which is a deck that I made where it's...
You mean Flying Men?
Flying Pirates. Skyrits.
Oh.
It's a thing.
I thought you were talking about Flying Men.
It plays Cartouche of Knowledge as well. With good effect. Okay, anyway.
Kitchen Table Magic.
So what we've come to call it is Kitchen Table Junior Edition. So point
of order, I had nothing to do with naming that.
Okay, I know that's all on me. So what I'm gonna be doing is, so he has his half-baked ideas, and these are my straight from the bulk box. See what you can make.
It's basically like Sealed, right?
It is. It's a lot like Sealed. Except
minus the synergy.
Minus the synergy. Minus the good The good card?
The good parts of doing sealed.
Of doing sealed.
You don't even get to crack pack.
You get
to crack one big pack.
You get to crack one big pack. But usually if there is a rare card that I find, I stumble across, one time I stumbled across a Liliana from Amonkhet. It had a nice big dent running down the middle of it.
You stumbled across a...
I've stumbled across a lot of things.
You found a Bloodstained Mire.
I did. I found a Bloodstained Mire. And
that's now in Murrican Miracles.
That was a good day. Let me tell you what. I went, Bloodstained Mire. Pitched it to the side, and I was like, wait. Did that...
That's playable.
Did that say Bloodstained Mire? No, I didn't say that's playable. I went, that goes in the binder.
You're like, oh, look, I paid for this bulk box.
I paid for this bulk box and then
more.
$5 more. Yeah. So anyway, the one that I have made recently that, is just kicking the crap out of everything at the kitchen table. You would not be shocked to know it's a red deck. It's basic. What I've called it is red deck wins.
May I suggest an edit to the name?
Junior edition.
May I suggest an edit to the name?
Sure.
Red deck is present.
Right. So, let's see. We run 19 lands in this. I did put in 2 Deserts of the Fervent, 1 Keldon Megalith. I think, honestly, just running 19 mountains here would be appropriate.
18 if you're feeling spicy.
18 if you're feeling spicy. The mana curve on this is just shockingly low.
Are you playing Shock?
I am playing Shock.
No, you're not.
Well, no, there was 1 Shock in there, and I took it out because I wanted
a good card.
A good card.
Did you find any?
No. Actually, I did. When I was adding things up to see how much this deck actually costs, I realized that the Searing Blaze had shot up to 250.
That's a real deck.
That's card. That's not bad.
He's
right?
playing Modern.
All right, there you go.
And it kills my Snapcaster Mage every time.
So basically, the idea of this deck, it kind of is based around the 3 creatures that it runs. It runs a 4 of Thermo Alchemist. It runs a 4 of Electrostatic Field, and it runs 2 of Firebrand Archer. And as you'll see, they kind of do the exact same thing each, which is basically cast a spell, deal damage to your opponent.
You ping them.
You ping them. Exactly. It's beautiful.
Pinger's gonna ping.
Pinger's gonna ping, right?
Should have called this
deck. So that's the 12 creatures, and as you see, the Firebrand Archers, they swing in for 2. That's with a toughness of 1, you really don't want to do that. You want to kind of save those in the back for,
it'll do more damage in the long run.
It'll really do a whole heck of a lot more damage. But if it's open, go ahead and get in there for 2.
Are we now how to play Magic now?
No. But I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Tell him to attack when there's no
blockers.
Up.
So anyway, it runs 4 Lightning Strike, 4 Stagger Shock, 2 Searing Blaze, 3 Burst Lightning. For that early game, late game choice, I really like that
right
card.
When you draw 5 of your 16 mountains.
4 Incinerates, 4 Fiery Tempers, 2 Magma Jets. Interesting synergy here. It also runs 2 Blaze for that late game, niche, whatever you want to do.
I'm actually unfamiliar with Blaze.
You're what?
I'm unfamiliar with
Blaze. X and a red, deal X damage to target creature player.
So
fantastic.
You play 2 forests and some channels in there.
Right, exactly, and deal a whole heck of a bunch of damage.
But don't less than you take to your...
This deck cost is, if you went to an LGS, ordered this off of Card Kingdom right now,
you would pay more for shipping.
You would pay $13.50 for this deck. Okay,
maybe not more.
This is called Junior Edition. Okay, it's just fun to play with the kids, fun to let the kids have, and you know what?
You teach them
every once in a while. One of these $10 decks that I have can hang with a modern deck. Now, I didn't say a good modern deck.
Okay. Oh, you mean my modern decks?
Yeah, right. Shut up. So anyway, also 4 Tormenting Voices. Lets those Fiery Tempers really get in there and help pay for the madness cost. But anyway, what you're really doing, what you're really looking to do, is get 1 or 2 of those Thermo Alchemist, Electrostatic Field, or the Firebrand Archers on the field, and then dumping your hand and dealing 16 damage in 1 turn.
That seems a little optimistic.
I mean, it happens quite often, as a matter of fact. But especially when we're at the kitchen table level.
But what if your opponent doesn't have, or if your opponent has any removal?
In that case, you lose the game. I mean, no, you really do. It's loaded up with instants. Oh, it also has 2 quests for Pure Flame. If you're familiar with that, when you cast spells, you put a counter on it, remove 4 counters. And then that turn, when you remove 4 counters and sacrifice it, any source would deal double damage. Basically, is what that does. So you wait for that.
Get in there.
You get in there, and you deal a lot to faces. I think I've dealt 12, 13 damage a turn with this deck. I mean, that feels pretty good. I mean, it really does. And I could even walk you through. I wrote it down when I did it. It's not here anymore.
You lost it.
I did lose it.
In future episodes, we may even get some test games in to give you the TLDR of how this works against actual modern decks. It might win.
It might do okay. But okay, so as I'm sitting here, looking at it, something that we were talking about before, like how could you spice these up? How could you actually make this a
real
deck?
Modern burn? So
real modern burn.
You just got to get 58 new cards. You get the 2 Searing Blazes, and then everything else goes away. Well, you can play
no mountains.
Okay. Well, you have a couple mountains. You play Magma Jets in the sideboard, I think, for the control mirror or the control matchup. I mean, I don't actually play burn, or like I said, all that much modern anymore. But I don't know. It could happen.
So bolts. I really like Flame of Keld with this kind of deck. I really do.
I think Flame of Keld is really good in the Goblin Guide, Bamat Courier, Swiss Spear deck.
This is
to be fair, 2 of those play an actual burn too. Mm-hmm. But I think, I think Flame of Keld is also really cool with Fiery Temper.
I do remember. I think this was, what is Thermo Alchemist? When did that come out? Eldritch Moon.
Yeah.
Eldritch Moon Standard, there was somebody who just lit up the Columbus Grand Prix with Thermo Alchemist. I
saw a deck in that standard. It played Thermo Alchemist, it played Dynavolt Tower, and then it played I don't think Lightning Strike was legal, but it played the energy burn spell that only hit creatures.
Puts me in line of Harness Lightning.
Yeah, Harness Lightning. But that only hits, I think that only hits creatures. But then it also played the Fiery Tempers, and you would play it. I think there was some looting spell you could play, so then you would discard them and hit them with that. And it was a cool deck because every 3 you could just spend 3 energy to bolt them in the face. So what you could do if say they randomly say they were at 3, and you couldn't target them with this Fiery Temper, but what you could do is you could target your creature, spend 0 of the energy you get, and then bolt them for use the other 3 to bolt them with Dynavolt Tower.
Right.
Oh, this is also a thing in the ice deck, by the way. It was a pretty sweet deck.
Thing in the ice.
That's the one time I got Devin to play Standard.
Nah.
And then he was just like, Standard sucks. And I'm like, and I was just like, yeah, you gotta keep buying cards.
Yeah, you gotta keep buying cards. Which, hey, Arclight Phoenix.
Don't get me wrong, I love buying cards.
Yeah, I do
but
too.
I just like buying cards that I can keep playing.
Right.
Highlander. Never gets banned.
All right. Something else that we're gonna do here, and this I'm really excited for this. The Puzzler, the puzzle of the week. Ash.
Yes.
Tell me.
Okay,
what are we gonna do?
The puzzle of the week is we're going to, at the end of every podcast, we're going to give you a magic-related puzzle, and later on, hopefully, we'll be able to provide some sort of prizes for our good old friends.
We definitely are. We definitely are. I do some alterations for cards, and I think what we're gonna do here in the near future, if we get a decent amount of participation, we're going to do some card giveaways. I have some altered cards sitting to the side, and
so 1 or 2 of them playable.
1 or 2 of them are actually playable. What put me in mind of it actually was the Harness Lightning. I remember I do have a few of those that are altered.
You remember when you did that whole play set of Attune with Aether and then that got banned?
I don't want to talk about that. That irritated the crap out of me. You know how long I spent altering the staff that she held?
I want to point out, I was the one who brought that to you. Said, "Hey, everyone's playing these.
Everyone's playing these," and I was like, "Ooh, good idea."
I'll trade those. It's okay. Anyway,
Irritated.
if we get a participation in these puzzles of the week, we'll do some giveaways. But I'm going to say, leave them in the comments?
Yeah, that's fine. Comment, subscribe, and if you get it right, I guess we'll throw them into a hat, something like that. I don't know.
I think the website lets you use
we'll determine the winner in the next week's
we'll figure
episode.
it out. Anyway, so here is your first puzzle of the week.
The puzzler.
Yeah. In this scenario, you are playing 4-color +1 prowess. You've got a stomping ground, a breeding pool, a sunpower grove, and a mana confluence in play. Your opponent is at 17. Mm-hmm. They have a Kalitas, Trader of Get, with 2 counters on it in play, untapped. And your goal is to kill them this turn.
Okay.
You've got a Kiln Fiend in play.
Oh, yeah.
Which we spelled wrong in the notes here.
You spelled wrong.
I spelled wrong in the notes here. So you got a Kiln Fiend in play. You got a Wee Dragonauts in play.
Uh-huh.
And in your hand, you've got Lightning Bolt and Giant Growth.
Okay.
You need to tell us what 1 card you can draw this turn that lets you win the game. Now, one other thing. In the graveyard, we have some cards. Relevant card is Snapcaster Mage, already in the graveyard.
Frowny face.
Frowny face written in the notes. And then in the exile zone is Berserk.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to tell us what 1 card can be drawn to win you the game this turn.
Okay. So keep in mind, this is 4-color plus with a couple sprinkles.
4-color plus
prowess.
No, chocolate chips. There's
chocolate.
two chocolate
Two
chips.
chocolate chips. Well, is that not your +1? No, yeah, that's your +1.
Yeah, but you said sprinkles.
Oh,
sorry. You said a few sprinkles, but it's 2 chocolate chips.
Okay. So what 1 card can you top deck to win the game this turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm thinking of a specific card.
Opponent, I guess we're going to assume opponent is either tapped out or no hands.
Yeah, let's
say cards in hand.
We'll say they tapped out for their Kalitas.
And how did he get the counters? Oh, I see. To make the count.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Sure, and the zombie is dead.
Don't worry about what your opponent has.
Don't worry about all that nonsense. Don't worry how we got them down to 17.
They're hellbent. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
They gain life. I don't know. Look, point is, this is the board state. And
don't worry how we got there. Just answer the freaking question.
Let me put out some parameters, though. If you give a correct answer, but the card, there's no way I would ever realistically play the card in the deck. Mm-hmm. It will not count as correct.
Okay.
If you answer the exact card I have in mind, good job. You win.
Yeah.
You get entered into the drawing. Well, I mean, maybe not this time. You'll win. You'll get a smile. I'll respond with a smiley
face.
Yeah, we'll give you a smiley face. Good job back in the comments. And later on when we have rewards, you will answer those questions right.
Yay.
And be entered. But and if you give me a different card than I'm thinking of, but that does kill them and does go in the deck, I will A, give you a smiley face that says thank you for giving me this good idea for a card to put in the deck, and B, give you another smiley face that says the original thing, which was good job, you won.
That doesn't seem like a lot of incentive. But okay, moving on. So,
how about we shout them out the next episode then?
Oh, there you go.
If you give us a good card
live on the interwebs.
Live on the pre-recorded
interwebs.
Yeah, if you give us a good card that wins you the game in the scenario, it satisfies the question, and I would play it in the deck.
And that's a big part. Big part right there.
I just want to point out, I will play a lot of cards.
And he will keep a lot of hands, too.
Anyway, we'll shout you out next episode.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us here.
Should I clarify next batch of episodes? Next batch of episodes. Anyway, continue with your outro.
Thank you very much for joining us here at the Gathering Hour. I'm Josh. This is Ash.
It
has been a pleasure sitting and talking with you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button. Whatever you got to do. Let us know. Thank you very much.
And let us know if you guys are interested in more chatting about Canadian Highlander as well. Have a good one.
Give it a